Hi everyone. Oops, I'm a little close today. Let me zoom out just a tad. Oop, too far. Today's pattern is called Sterling. Obviously it's just like a big flower. I'm not sure I would call it a pattern per se. It just sort of, it's almost just how to draw a flower kind of a thing. So it's less Zentangle and more just pattern or drawing, but that's okay. You know, it's all right. Start with a little dot in the middle and some shapes that are petally. It's kind of hard to describe. See, that's one thing that makes it non-Zentangle-y, is that I'm having a hard time describing this shape here. It's not a crescent. It's not a straight line. It's not a S curve. It's not a raindrop. It's sort of more organic, and so it's hard to almost hard to describe. So you put three sort of organic shapes next to each other. And then from that organic shape, you'll pull out another organic shape around it. And then more organic shapes around it. That makes 4, right? And then step 4, you'll put 3 more big organic shapes around those. So it's a 3, 4, 3. And then 2. Kind of overlapping those shapes. And then 4 sort of pointy, petally outside shapes. And that's it, and as long as you shade. So it's 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. According to this pattern, with this particular sterling flower thing. So I have a feeling I'm going to just put one big one in the middle and maybe put some leafy shapes around it and be done. Not that I don't like this, it's just not very Zentangle. Does that make sense? How patterns can be, not all patterns are Zentangle patterns. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to start like right here in the middle, and I'm going to do sort of that sort of a shape, and kind of that one, and like that. 3 random petal-like shapes. And then I'm going to do 4. So one of them actually has that one's actually sort of attached to that one. And then we're going to do two, 3, and 4. They're all just sort of, I got a little carried away there. I may have to now deepen one line on this, one of these curves on each one of these petals, so that that little stake there disappears by having more than one of these lines like that. There we go. See? Now it kind of disappears. If I just had one, then it would stand out like a sore thumb that it's a mistake. But if you make a mistake, go back in and make that same mistake other places, and then it's no longer a mistake. That is my tip of the day. All right, so then we want 3 kind of overlapping. So 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 for some reason. 2. 1 and 2. And then 4 kind of pointy-ish shapes. And I'm making them all a little bit different. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that I have some thicker lines in some of these other lines than I did, so that all my lines have a little bit of a thickness somewhere in them. Little like leaf shapes. I'm just going to do them all on the same side, then your eye will have some continuity. Kind of finish them off with sort of a like that. That's it. Put some interior kind of lines in here. Almost like folds. And a leaf like line in the middle here. There we go. That is the extent of this tangle. Not really a tangle. It really isn't a tangle. I mean, it's a step out of how to draw a flower, but it's really not a tangle. That's okay. I'm going to put it with something to make it live. It's got to live in a world here. It's just floating, and I don't like that. Guess I'll just do some flux. You guys know flux. Sort of teardroppy shape leaf things. you just build those as you decide to. There's no like right or wrong to these. You just bring them around and do whatever feels natural for you to fill your space. You can have big ones, you can have little ones, they can curve, they can go all sorts of different directions, they can go partly behind. Basically, it's just a teardrop. Just sort of organically grows on itself. Like that. Something like that. That's better. Then it's not just floating in space. I like my flux to have this little line and a dot. Don't know why. It just how it lives in my world. I just like it. Like that. There we go. Give this puppy some shading and we will be done. Okay, what was it called? I forget already. Sterling. Okay. Give this guy some shading. A little bit in the middle of there. Some around each of the petals because they are all overlapping, so that's going to be kind of obvious that that's where you want some shading. Each of those petals are overlapping something else. Keep turning my tile. That way I don't have to move my hand into an awkward position. Okay, so the spot where they're coming together right there, like there and there, I'm going to make it actually a little bit bigger and deeper, because I think that's where you would see a darker shadow. So I just start with it bigger there, just in those little spots. And then of course your flux needs a little something, but usually I just do it right at the base of each one of those and just pull some shading up the stem. Oh, it's trash day. Did we put the trash out? I don't know if we did. Oh well, if it's not at the curb, it's not at the curb. I'm not running out there now. I'm sure we did. My husband's really good at remembering, even if he doesn't remember Monday, because yesterday was raining. Okay. It was raining, so I didn't take out the trash. Matter of fact, since I had a stay home day yesterday, I didn't even bother to put on any clothes. Well, I wasn't running around naked, but you know, it was a jammies sort of day yesterday. I stayed in my pajamas and I put on my bathrobe, fuzzy slippers, and I drew some pictures and did not go outside because it was cold and rainy. Okay. All right. So that's where my shading's gonna go. Get my little blendy stump out. And just blend, 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 blend. Soften those edges. See, you can leave your pencil right up against the line like this, or you can bring it out like I did on that leaf, just by continuing to pull with your blending stump further out. It's a different look. You decide. But you really should blend, because let me zoom in if you can tell the difference. Okay. There's a leaf where it's been blended and pulled out. There's the leaf where it's been blended but not pulled out. And there's where it's not been blended at all. There's a huge difference. And then when you step back, further back you get, the more you can tell. That one, you know, that's got a nice, beautiful shading right there. And that doesn't have any, even though it's got pencil there. It looks totally different. And this one looks different than that one. And this is okay. I mean, you could just leave it like this. That's fine. I just decided that these leaves needed to have that pulled out further. That's all. It doesn't really make that much difference. As long as it's blended a little bit, Your eye really needs that softening of those shadows for it to say that it's actually a shadow. It just needs it. So very important. And then if you decide that once you finish blending that you've blended out too much and that it really needs to be darker, which I think I have. I think I've overdone I pulled it out so far that there's not enough contrast here, that I'm going to go back after I'm done blending these little leafy guys, little fluxes. I am going to go back and put more right around that one edge along the leaves and make that darker and deeper. I feel like I toned it down too much by pulling that blending out too far. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come back, fix that. And it's not like what I did is wrong. It's just personal preference. Shading always seems to look better when it's a little bit more, has a larger contrast between your lights and your darks. If your darks aren't dark enough, there's not a big enough contrast. So we're like right in here, just on this one shape. I'm going to come in here and go really dark and really deep right there. And then just blend that out again. I'm just not going to blend that as far. That's better. See how that one is better than that one? It's not that it's, and it's subtle. It's really subtle. But work in layers. Be patient with it. I could spend hours making this super super shaded. And there are artists who are just fantastic, spectacular with their shading. Annie Oken from Shading Fearlessly. Yeah, she spends hours on her shading, I'm sure, and she goes slowly and builds up layers very carefully. I've done that at times, but not on video here with you guys because it's just kind of tedious. I mean, it's fun, and it's not tedious in the fact that I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I'm getting the look that I want. But it's not something that I need to put on video where you guys need to watch me go round and round and build up layer after layer. But this just kind of gives you an idea of going back and putting that depth in. And that was enough. Just doing it here was enough to make this flower sit on top of the leaves instead of the leaves being part of that flower. Does that make some sense to you guys? I hope so. I hope I'm being clear when I'm babbling. All right. You guys have a blessed day. This was fun. I don't know that it was specifically a pattern, but then again, flux really isn't either. I mean, flux is just a teardrop shape going random directions. So I guess technically this could be a pattern as well. So, you know, don't mind me and my Zentangle rant. Yeah. You guys have a really great day. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting tired. I need to go take a break. You guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.